Good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to all my students and center staff to the 13th Industry HR session under Virtual Job Fair by MESC in association with Aptech Limited. Yes, you all heard it right. This is the 13th session under Virtual Job Fair, and this certainly would not have been possible without the unconditional support of all of you. Guys, today I'm really happy. And the reason behind my happiness and excitement is that a lot of students who have shared their resume and their portfolio against the openings we shared under the virtual job fair have already got the offer letters and have started working in their dream studios. Yes. So now it is your turn to get the right offer. And I would definitely like to give a pat and on all the students back for submitting their showreels and resume on time and sharing it with the respective center placements head. Those of you who have still not done, it is my humble request to please fine tune your portfolio and share it with your respective center heads so that you do not miss the opportunity. And now, taking the legacy forward, today we have two of our greatest speakers from one of our esteemed recruiters by the name of Studio 361 Games, Mr. Lokesh Jaiswal and Mr. Jafar Khan from the management team who would be sharing the organization structure, the work culture, the kind of work they do, the current positions, the salary, and each and every detail with all of you. Mr. Lokesh Jaiswal and Mr. Jafar Khan, they both are the founders of this organization. So I'm sure students, whatever questions you have, whatever doubts you have, you can please write in the chat box and they would be happy to answer your questions, right? And also, I have a surprise at the end of the session, right? I would not be revealing it right now. I will be revealing it at the end of the session. So till then, sit back, relax, and enjoy the session. And students, it would be really great if you keep raising your hands in between so that I though you all can see me but I cannot see you, but then when you raise your hands I feel that we all are connected and we all are on the same page. So keep raising your hands. Thank you so much. I could see students raising their hands, and let's enjoy this session together. Okay. And yes, stay tuned till the end because I will be revealing the surprise at the end. Cool. So I would now welcome Mr. Lokesh Jaiswal and Mr. Jafar Khan from Studio 361 Games. Hi, Lokesh.
Hi, Mala. Thank you for the introduction.
Hi, Jafar. Jafar, you have to please unmute.
Yeah, I think it's unmuted now. Hey, Mala.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi,
Thank
guys. Hi, everyone.
Thank you, both of you, for accepting our invite instantly. And yes, Lokesh, you've been really sweet. And, every time we called you for the requirements, for the presentation, for understanding the details, I think that's the beauty of our brand, that, the recruiters have been so nice and so kind to us. So I would not take much of your time. So I would hand it over to you, Lokesh. I would request if you can, introduce yourself once again in your own style and share the presentation where students can have an idea about what kind of people you are looking for and your organization.
Absolutely. Thank you. So, guys, Lokesh Jaiswal, I work for a company called Kenny Technologies. I'm heading the technology for the company. So, at Kenny we are basically technology centric company. We work for the clients who are in the healthcare and education space primarily. We work closely with many state governments like Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh on the projects which are primarily on the education and healthcare front, because the population we cater are primarily the rural segment, and we want to help them out with the gamified experiences. So in the last couple of years, this has been our primary goal, that we could work them, we could help these this particular segment, understanding the benefits of nutrition, learning a new language, but with the help of a gamified experience. And so far, as per the data, we've been very successful with that, right? At Canially, we primarily have expertise into cloud computing. We have expertise into mobile application development, and I personally come from a games development background. So I graduated in 2006 from Delhi College of Engineering, and from there I joined my very first company, which was primarily into simulations. So that's where I basically fell in love with the games development, the game programming, design, simulation, etc. Right? And that thing, that passion since then has, still been here, and I've worked in so many games and the simulation projects, primarily into the B2B space. Have worked for many clients from Canada, US, primarily port companies, defense, Navy, etc. Right? Kenny Ali, has been working in last couple of years with the state governments, and we think the number of the projects we're getting are primarily into game segment. So Jafar and I decided that it is the right time that we can, probably we can do the inception of a fresh game studio, which can, work as a child company to Kenny Ali. So at Kenny Ali, we'll be funding this particular studio called Game Studio. This is called Studio 361. We'll not just be working on the government projects, but we'll be working on the projects which we can, have our own signatures on, right? So we have kind of 19 to 20 games. Few games will be for some clients, but most of them will be our own branded games. And we have, sort of compiled that games, that the game we want to build in next couple of years. So in total, our target is to come up with 19 games. And in addition to that, we'll be working on a product which is separate, in addition to the games we'll be working on. This product is called Vriksh, which is primarily a virtual reality-based education classroom program, right? So the beauty of that product is going to be that everything will be virtual. This product will allow you to travel in space. This product will allow you to travel time. If you want to go back 5,000 back and witness Mahabharata, you can do that in this particular environment. If you want to go and see how it is like, being at Mars, you can actually do the space traveling, right? So this is something we are very ambitious and highly, serious about, and we have investor backing for that product as well, right? And I'll just, without taking much time of yours, I'll quickly start presenting the company presentation, like what Canially exactly does. And out of Canially, everything which is around 2D and the 3D content development, the interactive experience, the games and the simulations will be the part of Studio 361 initiative. So I'll just quickly, start presenting the presentation, the keynote we have right now.
And Lokesh, once you are done with the presentation, I would request you if you can also share the website of the organization, of the parent organization, as well as the the current organization.
Okay, sure. We'll share the website of the present organization, right?
Yes, yes.
Sure. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, you have to go
Right.
full screen.
Yeah. Right. So that's the prime focus. That's the prime, responsibility. We think that everything that we develop, right from, a very basic website till an application which goes in the hands of the end user, till a gamified experience or a game, we want to make sure that it's a memorable experience. People should feel like that this product, this application does some sort of value addition into their lives, right? So this is the prime objective of Canially, right? This is primarily the USPs we have. So Jafar is somebody who comes with experience in cloud computing. So he's an expert with everything that happens in the backend, right? You have massive applications. You have applications which serves 5 million users, 50 million users, or even 500 million users. So Jafar is somebody who takes care of that. He's somebody who works in the back end and ensures that everything is getting delivered on time without any latencies, without any hiccups. And he also ensures that the availability of the backend services are 24/7, right? So this is our prime strength, and Jafar comes on the table with this particular skill set. He's got expertise into Microsoft Azure cloud. He's got expertise into AWS. He's got expertise into Google Cloud platform, right? Second thing, this is particularly my forte, my portfolio. I am from technology background, primarily an engineer, right? So Google Flutter is one of the technology we are working on, and we've been working on it for last 2 years, because this is relatively a new technology, and Google is batting on it big time, because this technology allows you to write code once, but the output you get is basically the native experience for Android, iOS, browser, PCs, MacBook, everything, right? So you just have to write code once, and magically it builds you applications for all these platforms. So we are using this application. We've done really well in that. We've saved a lot of cost, because otherwise we had to spend on these many resources for that many platforms. But this particular time, with the help of Google Flutter, we have a depleted team, a team which is very focused, and we are able to build a unified experience for all these platforms, right? Same way, React is a technology which is from Facebook, and we primarily use this for web applications. But most of the applications are in the legacy mode, because we have jumped onto Google Flutter, right? Unity 3D, as you all know, you guys are from the games development background, 3D, 2D content creation. So Unity 3D is the leading game engine, and my experience with Unity 3D is since 2012. Even before that, I used to work in a physics engine, which was pretty native, pretty coding oriented, and the same game engine is used inside Unity 3D. So we have our expertise and comfort zone with Unity 3D. Meteor.js and Laravel are basically web frameworks, so we use them to build highly scalable web applications, something like Facebook Web, something like Flipkart, right? So these two frameworks we use extensively when we want to build something for the web. Firebase is again a technology which is backed by Google. It is a Google's technology, which allows you to remain focused on the application development without worrying about the scalability and how the backend should be, right? And how it should be architected, whether it should be spin up or spin down by itself or not. So everything is well taken care of by Google Firebase, right? This is our expertise, the area of expertise. I mean, quite funny. The area of expertise is in sequential alphabetical order, as you can see. So we've got our expertise into advertisement world. We've got our expertise into business intelligence. One of our senior colleague, he's somebody who is, in fact, our senior as well, Jafar and Minds. He's got a good amount of expertise with the big data, the data sciences, the trends, everything which has to do with a lot of data mining and coming up with some sort of intelligent predictions. He takes care of that. Cloud computing, again, cloud computing and DevOps is again somebody Jafar takes care of. He's got expertise into that. Edtech is my domain. Last 5 years, I've spent a lot of edtech initiatives. I worked as the CTO and VP engineering in company like Exceed Education, iProf Learning, Talent Edge, right? So at these companies, I actually was responsible for delivering the technology architecture, the technology platforms, which helped more than 12 million users there. And we were also able to raise about $50 million, because when I joined the company, we were at very bootstrap level. So I come with the experience where we were, able to bootstrap a company from the basics, and we were able to scale it to about 10 to 12 million users who were actively using that. And we were also able to, validate it with investor community. We had some backing, about $50 million in all three companies, in last three companies I worked for. Food tech is one of the initiative we partnered with. We are the technology partner in that. So one of our application is live in Dubai, UAE. The application's name is My Menu, and we are also going to roll out the same application for a couple of more countries like Qatar and Kuwait. right? So this is something, we are technology partner of. We are not the complete stakeholder of that particular product, but yeah, this is something we take really proud of, when we want to pitch ourselves as somebody who has built something B2C in the consumer space. Games development is something that is our fresh initiative because we want to make it a separate entity. We believe that games are something which is going to stay irrespective of the market response, irrespective of the fact whether the world economy is hit by recession, right? Games is something which always stays, which have always stayed in the past recessions, and which is going to stay in next 50 years, 75 years, or 100 years. So we strongly believe that this should be a separate entity, and we should invest our time, money, and a lot of energy into that to build something really magical for the future, right? Healthcare, as we all know that we are in the difficult times of pandemic. Healthcare technology is something that investor community globally has become very serious about ever since we faced COVID-19, and there are no vaccines as of now. 5 years back, there were many companies who were working on global universal vaccines. They wanted funds as low as 10 to 15 million dollars, but even then, investor community was not very convinced. But now, lots of companies, lots of investors, they are focused on healthcare products. And since we've been closely working with these state governments in the healthcare projects with the help of Unity 3D and the gamified experience, we think we have some experience, we have something to offer to our client base, to more state governments, to central governments and their projects and their initiatives. So I think this is something which we really showcase as something of our portfolio. Right. We'll just cover top three expertise we have right now. We are very focused on. So business intelligence, Jafar and I see as one of the next big thing, because the whole world is collecting lots of data, but they really do not know what to do with that data. You often hear a lot from many people that data is everything, data is the next big thing, but you might not have heard about the fact that what do they actually do with the data? Do they sit in a room and just visually look at the data and pass some comments, do some critical thinking or something like that, or not? But yeah, we think that the data, once gets accumulated, should be analyzed not by people. It should be analyzed by machine itself. It should be analyzed by bots. So we are working in writing that intelligent algorithms which we call super intelligent. It becomes artificial intelligence. We all can write algorithms, right? But not every algorithm is AI. So in this particular domain, in this particular space, we are writing algorithms which we do not call simplified algorithms. These algorithms are basically artificial intelligence because they know how to deal with that data. They know what sort of recommendations you should be given. They know what sort of predictions it has to make. And these algorithms will help any business to basically forecast about what needs to be done in the next quarter, what needs to be done in next 12 months, what needs to be done in the next 5 years. So all in all, the data you have collected, it gives sense to that. The business intelligence will tell a company, will tell a client that, okay, this is the data and you should be working in that particular direction. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to, sit in a meeting, spend hours, days, weeks, and doing some critical analysis. Let us do that. So this is what we've been doing. We have our client base in primarily in Middle East, but yeah, we've been working with some client base in the southern part of Asia as well. Right. So these are a few projects we've done. Some legal entity in Middle East, which is of course confidential. That's why we haven't showcase the name here. Then we have a telecom giant as our active client in Middle East, and we have C-level healthcare company, which is one of our client in the portfolio, right? And these are the tools we use in order to make sense that something really helpful, something really valuable come out of the data we accumulate. Right. Next expertise is, as I covered, it's in education technology space. The leadership team at Kenny LE has, including me, has worked into pioneers of edtech companies in India. This is the clientele we have worked for: iProf Learning Solution, Talent Edge, Exceed Education, Currently, we're working for Europa Technologies, Resonance, which is a pioneer in Kota, One Key Care Ventures, who works in education as well as healthcare initiative, Schools and Web, which is a recently started company by ex CXO from Byju's, right? So these are the companies we are closely working with. We are helping them at a very scratch level, that how to go from 0 to 100, then 100 to 10 million. So we're helping them on every front, which has to do with the product development till the technology, till the scalability, everything from start till the deployment, right? So this is our portfolio. This is our area of expertise when it comes to edtech. So in that, we basically propose a learning management system, which is the core of education ecosystem, edtech ecosystem. And this learning management system actually brings together the educationers, it brings together the content creator, the academics experts, subject matter experts, students, teachers, mentors, everybody, right? So it sort of create applications and profiles for all these stakeholders. It hosts the content for a teacher, for a mentor, or for a SME, subject matter expert. And it also takes care of every single student's need. Like it comes up with a personalized learning experience for every single student, which is not possible in a traditional classroom program, right? So with the help of this ecosystem, every single student is given some sort of recommendation that, okay, your trigonometry is weak, you should be focusing on trigonometry. Okay, your calculus is super strong, but your algebra is weak, so you should be focusing on algebra. So this is something we've devised, we've developed over the period of last 5 years, and now we think it's the time that we can encash them, and we are offering a service to these many clients we're working with. Games development is something which I recently covered. So games development is primarily we've devised it as a separate entity called Game Studio 361, and in that we are not just going to be focusing on the games development, but we'll be focusing on the simulations as well. So when I say simulation, that means something for the training purposes, right? So you have a crane operator, right? Crane operator is somebody who basically sits at a height of 100 feet, right? And it has to do some sort of cargo handling operations. Those cargoes are like as heavy as 25 tons, 40 ton in weight, right? And in real scenario, without training, there are possibilities of accidents and then casualties. So this simulator actually helps them with simulating the live scenario, so that they can get training for good 3 months, 4 months, 6 months before actually going to the cargo handling operations, right? So this is one of the simulator we basically developed, and which is being used by British Columbia, one of the port company in British Columbia called BCMEA, right? Then comes the simulation part, when we say games development as a gamified experience. When we say that, that means we are actually working on a learning application or something which has some sort of learning objectives, but you learn them not through active learning, like going through a video or maybe practicing some questions. You actually learn them while playing game. You actually learn them while having a gamified experience, and you learn those learnings by achieving some learning objectives. They are like hurdles in between the game experience, right? So this is the games. These are the kind of games and simulations we're working already. Next comes the AR and VR games. These are the experiences which I just talked about. The virtual reality-based classroom is like one of the most ambitious projects we have in pipeline, right? Same way, virtual reality-based exhibitions is like one of the projects we have recently, got hold of. Right? And when it comes to the B2C space, making games directly for the consumer, we have a pipeline of 19 to 25 games, and we've sort of done all sort of game documentation. It's the time that we think we can start designing, developing, right? And the technology we are using, Unity 3D, primarily for the development. When it comes to making something into 3D, we are pretty comfortable with 3ds Max. One of our senior member has about 16 years of experience in 3ds Max. Another team member comes with hands-on experience into 3ds Max as well as Maya, right? And other tools we use are like your typical 2D tools, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Animate, right? Adobe After Effects, Adobe Face Animator, right? So these are other set of tools we primarily work on in games development. Right. So in total, I would say that this is our expertise primarily. I would be happy to address your questions now.
I guess that was an elaborate presentation, Lokesh, and what you've actually taken us into the future, because I guess this is the future.
Yeah, we strongly believe we have a vision for 2025, not an immediate vision or not a short-term vision. But
Right.
when we say artificial intelligence, when we say virtual reality-based classrooms, we are thinking of 2025, some sort of evolving through the time, going into the space, time traveling, something we all are so fascinated about. So we want to basically simulate that experience.
Correct. And it is always beneficial, when an organization has a long-term plan.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what we think, I've spent last 5 years into education space. So all the companies you might have heard of, you might have used their products as well. Kids at your home might have been their active subscribers. They all learn, whatever the curriculum they have through videos or notes, PDFs, tests, etc., etc. Right? That has some sort of retention. Like, you
Correct.
learn something from a video. After 20 days, you only remember 30% of that. Right? But with the help of experiential learning, something that you have experienced in real time, that
Yes.
stays for about 85% in your memory. That stays forever. And the residual is about 85% of whatever learning you've gained out of it. Right? So that's what we believe in. That's our focus.
Absolutely. And I guess recession, no recession, COVID, and even if COVID goes, which I'm sure will soon fade away, I think gaming, this creative industry, uh, there will be never a break to this creative industry. This is an ongoing industry and this is an ever growing industry. And that's why I guess, we call it as a sunshine industry. So that's the
Absolutely.
beauty of this industry. And students, we all are really lucky to be a part of this industry. So great. Lokesh, now I would like to ask you, what are the current requirements you have for the freshers? If you can tell us those four requirements, the skill set, brief, overview on the skill set, and the salary also, so that we cover, one segment.
Sure thing. So primarily the first role is we need somebody who is very creative, somebody who basically is given some sort of idea that, okay, this is the idea of the game or the experience we want to create. Okay, can you come up with some sketches, some sort of storyboarding on paper with the help of a pencil? That's the first thing we need. Somebody who wants to work in these projects have to be really creative, really innovative, because we think we are in our mid 30s. Okay, we may not be that creative, but people who are freshers, they come with lots of disrupting ideas, lots of creative innovative ideas. So we want these people to come up to us with these ideas in a paper and sketch format. So that's the first thing we want. Basics. You should be a great creative person. Okay. Second thing is, again, the tool, which Adobe Illustrator is something. Adobe Illustrator is something we really want that person to know, because when it comes to 2D games development, that's the first tool you would want to have expertise on, right? Adobe Animate is the third tool we would want you to learn. We would want be an expert with, because it's not just about having static pictures in the game. It's about having dynamicity in the game experience, right? So we need people who are expert with these two tools. Right. This is about the 2D artist and the 2D animator. These are the positions we have. And then comes the 3D 3D artist. 3D artist is somebody who knows how to do modeling as well as texturing. Okay, somebody who knows lighting is a plus for that person. But yeah, we do have in-house expertise. They can always train people who have a lot of passion for the 3D modeling and texturing. Anything which is into the 3D world, right? Third position is going to be the 3D animator, somebody who is expert with the rigging and animation part of it, right? So these are the primarily three positions we have when it comes to skill set, when it comes to tools and technologies they have to use. And other positions we have are basically for programmers. If somebody of has hands-on experience with Unity 3D. Somebody loves programming. Programming is something that people are really taking their interest in. Even kids who are taking subscription with Whitehead Junior, etc. you know Programming is something we believe is going to change the world. It is going to make the world more intelligent. Every application we use is basically the resultant of that: Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, even Zoom, right? So if you know programming, if you have interested in Unity 3D, we have openings in Unity 3D programming as well. So these are primarily the 4 openings I believe we have. And yeah, pretty much it.
Okay, so students, as of now, yes, they are looking for people in 2D division. They're looking for 3D modeling and texturing artists. They're also looking for 3D animators. And if any of you, has passion for programming, because I know there are a lot of students who know, who can work on Unity 3D. So you can also apply. And yes, as Mr. Lokesh has mentioned, they are see. We always repeat in our sessions that always remember that software is just a tool which helps you get the output. But if you are creative, if you have that that creative if you have that creative kida in you, if you have that passion, I think the studio people, they're really nice, and you can learn the software in the studio also. But then yes, that creativity has to be there, that passion to reach the sky has to be there. Okay, so I hope students, you're clear with the positions. So we have as of now 3 mainstream positions in the 2D division: 3D modelers and texturing artists, and 3D animators, and the 4th position is of programmers. Okay, so students, I would request you to kindly finish your course ASAP, fine tune your portfolio, get it evaluated from your respective faculty, and share with your placement heads, okay, which eventually reaches to the ICAP team, and the ICAP team will be further sharing it to the studio, right? Okay, Lokesh, we are clear with the skill set and the positions. Now if you can also share us what would be the salary for the freshers.
Okay, so we haven't, we have a range of the salary compensation we want to give to people. Okay, so it ranges from 2.4 lakhs per annum till 4.8 lakhs per annum. It depends on how many skill sets. It depends on how the kind of expertise you have. Whether you join us as a fresher or whether you join us with some sort of projects you've already done which are live. Okay, so that totally depends on the person to person, like the skill set, the experience, the confidence they have, the passion they show, right? Yeah, but the minimal offering is going to be 2.4 lakhs per annum, and the ballpark figure for the average compensation is going to be 3.3 to 3.6 lakhs per annum.
Oh wow. So students, so yes, of course, I always say that for Aptech students, nobody decides your salary, you write your own paycheck. But then yes, the minimum which a fresher would be getting is 2.40. My maths is poor, I guess. 2.40 is 20,000 per month. Yeah, and the average is around 3.3 to 3.6 lakhs per annum, which is a decent salary for the freshers. So students, I don't think we have any reason to wait. Please submit your portfolios, because all your friends, all your batchmates are getting jobs and they've already started working. It is your turn now, and I'm sure with such excellent recruiters, you will soon be giving treat to all your friends, because you will soon be getting the offer letter from such a wonderful organization, right? So kindly do this ASAP. Lokesh, one more question. I've got from a student. His name is Varun Seni. I'll reframe Varun's question. Varun, and I'm sure a lot of other students would also be interested in knowing this. What steps do we need to take to kind of better our portfolios, or when the ICAP team will be sharing portfolios with you? Okay. What are you expecting in the portfolio of a fresher?
So we are basically expecting 3 things. Primarily, how creative a person is, because that is something we want unmeasurable. That is something they have to define where they stop, right? So we want to see the very first thing: how creative, how passionate somebody has been. Okay, if somebody is going to the work and doing a typical 9 to 5 job, that's not the kind of work culture we really appreciate. Okay, we would really appreciate if the ideas can come from them. Okay, if they can, guide us that, okay, this is the path we should be taking. Okay, so yeah, of course, creativity and passion is something we want to see in their portfolio, like all crazy projects they've worked on. Okay, in different spaces, with different tool set, not just the tool set I mentioned, because I just know about these tool set. Of course, these guys would know more tool set, so yeah, first thing. Second thing is gonna be, some sort of division into, static 2D or 3D models or illustrations, and how they basically animated that. Okay, so somebody who knows animation, is gonna get the edge. Okay, when it compares to people who may not be, that good in animation or rigging, right? But then again, it totally again depends on the quality of the work. So of course, people who do not know animation, they should not, get an impression that, okay, they will not be recruited. They will be recruited, but then again, it depends on the kind of work, how excellently they've delivered it in the past. Okay, and the third thing is basically, whether they are a student or not. I mean, I am 35. I'm still a student. Okay, I still wake up every morning at 4:30 and learn some new technology, because technology world is like ever evolving, rapidly changing world, right? So we need people who are always learning. We need people who are learning new technology, new tools, who are working on more exciting projects, not by any industry, but they don't have any backing. But yeah, they're learning by themselves. So yeah, these are the three criterias we'll be looking at. And I think the portfolio should come in a typical format, with these three divisions, these three slides probably. And yeah, I think.
Great. I think, Lokesh, you beautifully answered Varun's question, and I'm sure a lot of other students have also understood. So, students, it is very important to be crazy for art, and I feel that if there is any wall which is blocking your creativity, just paint it. So, portfolio has to be really good. Portfolio में कुछ भी काम मत डालो जो don't just put anything, because then you have to submit your portfolio, you have to put your best work and get it evaluated by your faculty. And yes, if don't just feel ki I am not a good animator, or probably my Maya is not that strong, or my Max is not that strong, I will not get a job. And as Mr. Lokesh told, if you are an artist, okay, if you are creative, irrespective of the tools, you will get a job. So I think that's the beauty of this industry, right? uh, Great, Lokesh. There is one more question which I will answer. Akshay Soni, you've written, how can I apply as a fresher? Akshay, you just have to submit your portfolio and share it with your respective placement head or faculty, and it will eventually go to your respective regional ICAP head. Okay. One question I would like to see Jafar to ask from Jafar. Jafar, we are really keen to see you. So if you can just put on your
Yeah, yeah.
yes. Yes. So, Jafar, I have one question from you. Now, Lokesh has covered, the skill set and what he's expecting in the student's portfolio. Now, there is
Okay.
one question which a lot of students ask us in the sessions. Technical is okay, like they'll submit the show reel, the faculty will fine tune the show reel.
Yeah.
How important is communication in the hiring process of your organization?
See,
Communication as in yes, communication and speaking in English.
okay, so I will, divide this communication into two parts. One is what we call a typical soft skills, where you say your typical English or anything. And secondly is the basic idea of communication. So when we interview any guy, we look into two important things. One, he's a good listener. He's a guy who takes input very strongly, and he can communicate back. uh, Model of communication can vary. It can be English, it can be English or something. That depends on what position we are putting that particular guy into. So the most important thing is that Lokesh is also has already mentioned his attitude, and that communication part always lying into the attitude part, that he should be a good listener. He should be able to understand the problem completely. Okay, if he has a skill some problem, so he should always come and raise the query. He will obviously get answer from us. We all are the co-founder of multiple startup. Lokesh has done it. So we are in habit of working very close with the freshers. So not only from other help that you guys will have, but even from me and Lokesh, you will always find some answer or some solution to the problem. But the most, and yeah, if you want to grow, English plays a part. Yeah, then you need to communicate with the clients, then you need to communicate on a various level, with the C level of internal organization, also multiple organization, multiple companies that we have. So yeah, for growth it plays a part, but uh, for any fresher we specifically look as a guy who can understand the problem clearly in any language possible. I think if I able to answer the
Yes,
query.
you have answered the question beautifully, Jafar. So, students, for freshers, it is not mandatory to communicate only in English. But then, yes, if you want to grow in your career, which I'm sure everyone would like to. I mean, you all would like to be creative heads, say in 2 years or 3 years down the line. So, for that, if you start communicating in English, that would definitely be an icing on the cake. Okay, and yes, a lot of times students they call the ICAP team to understand why they got rejected despite of having a good portfolio and meeting all the criteria shared by the studio. So the answer is, it is very important for all of you, for all of us rather, to have that right attitude. Okay, Lokesh just mentioned that he's 35 and he gets up at 4:30 and is still learning. I am 35 and I think every day is a new day for me and I learn every day. So in the same way, it is very important for all of you to be good listeners and never say no to learning. Okay, so to have that right attitude, to have that correct frame of mind is very important. So I would request, it is my humble request to all of you to be really humble and grounded, because technical and communication, it is okay. The ICAP team markets you as freshers, but then attitude is something which you really have to keep a check on. Okay, so be confident, but please don't be overconfident, right? Okay, one more question, Lokesh, I have, which is from our student. His name is Lakhan Patel. Lakhan says, I am a 3D animator. How can I apply? Okay, I'll reframe the question. Lakhan wants to know, he's a 3D animator. What do you want to see in his portfolio? And probably my other students would also understand.
So 3D animator, we have a project where we basically want to build 3D videos for our education platform, right? Those 3D videos will have a teacher, okay? It will have lots of other characters, like some sort of story characters a teacher wants to tell to her or his students, and there will be lots of students in the virtual reality based classroom, right? So all sort of animations which are related to a typical humanoid structure, or the animals and birds, all sort of any rigging which is done in animating these characters is something we are looking for. So maybe if somebody wants to showcase their 3D animation skills, they can probably submit some sort of clips they might have worked on, the best work they've done already, right? uh, uh, Ideally, I basically take inspiration from Pixar when it comes to 3D. Up is my favorite movie, so I would need people to benchmark that particular movie from Pixar. Okay, that sort of animation. So yeah, I think this is what my expectation is.
Okay, great. So, Lakan, I hope you got the answer to your question. Lokesh, what is the growth? I mean, what is the, a fresher, if he joins, if a student of ours, of Aptech joins your organization as a fresher, what is the growth path of a fresher in your organization? Question number one. And question number two is, yeah, what is the recruitment process of your organization? Is it work from home? Because we have students from all parts of the country attending this session, and I'm sure they would be interested to work with your organization. So what is the recruitment process like? Is it work from home? And question number one was the growth of a fresher.
Okay, so I'll answer to your question number one, growth of a fresher. So we have a trajectory, not just for freshers in the game design industry, but we have a growth trajectory for every single individual who joins us, primarily into the technology and the development team. So these people who will be joining us will go into the technology and development team only, right? And the growth trajectory will be like they'll be joining us as associate engineers or associate designers in their respective field. So suppose if somebody is a 2D artist, so the title would be 2D artist, associate designer, right? And after a couple of years, like after every 12 months, we have a review cycle. People who join us somewhere in the middle of the year, uh, of course, they will also go through the same cycle, but then accordingly, the appraisal, the review will be dependent as per the time they've invested in the projects, right? So it will be percentage or fraction of the appraisal or the review they should be getting. Otherwise, had they spent 12 months with us, right? So every year they will have a review, they will have promotion, and they'll have some sort of appraisal. And the typical appraisal we give is about 20% annually. And people who are like superstar, again, they have no limits. They can even get the percentage appraisal of about 40%, 50% annually. So of course, for passionate people there are no limits. Coming to your second question, you said you have people who have joined this particular call from various places in the country. Right now, since we all are working remotely. Okay, Jafar, I, and few core members, we meet twice a week as of now because of the tough times we all are facing. But going forward, Jafar and I have plans that okay, we'll be regulating our offices like from the first week of 2021. Okay, so we all will be working from the office, but people who are like in the remotest area, they can of course speak to us, and they can probably work remotely, right? So this is what we can do to help them out.
Great, awesome. So students, if you perform in the organization, you can get an appraisal of 40% also. So that's a healthy sign of not only the organization, but the industry also. And yes, students who are from other parts of the country, except Delhi NCR, till December, right? Till December 2020, you can work from home. And
Absolutely.
yes,
I mean,
who knows? I mean, a new year will bring a lot of new hopes. So if everything becomes normal.
so till 31st, everyone will be working from home. So from the first week of January, we would require people who are in NCR, they can come to the office on daily
Okay.
basis. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So great. So students, as of now, till 31st of December, everyone would be working from home. After that, depending on the situation and where you stay, the call can be taken. But as of now, it's work from home. So I think students from any part of the country can apply and get to work in this beautiful organization. Right. Lokesh, I would request you to kindly, if you can do that, type the website in the chat box so that students can go through the website once before sharing their resume. So all the 3D people, all the 3D animators, all the 3D modeling and texturing artists, all the 2D people, and if your friends for any reason have missed this session, I would request you to kindly tell them as well that Studio 361 is looking for talented artists in these four genres, rather: 2D, 3D animators, 3D modeling and texturing artists, and programmers. So please share your resume and your Shori link, and it would be great if your Shori link is embedded in the resume. Right? Don't send us those videos and resume in JPG formats. Please remember that workshop, that session we had on resume. Okay, so please make your resume according to that. Put your showreel, that evaluated showreel, in the resume, and share it with your placement head. Okay, Lokesh, I guess yes. So the website is uh, cannyalley.com, CANNY ALLEY.com. So I would request all of you to kindly go through it. Yes, students, this is your chance. Students have already grabbed, a lot of students have already grabbed the offer letters. It is your chance to get the offer letter. So please don't wait. Right? Great. So I think, Lokesh, we have covered each and everything. We have taken all the students' question. You have answered the organization, the hierarchy, the growth, the salary, the current positions, the work mode, everything has been covered. Great. So thank you so much, Lokesh, and thank you so much, Jafar, for this wonderful, wonderful session. And yes, Lokesh, thanks for all the efforts you did in making the
My
presentation.
pleasure, my pleasure.
It was really worth it. And yes, so Varun, I can see Varun is very excited and he's very happy that it is work from home. A lot of students are happy that it is work from home till December. So students, please don't wait for that right opportunity. It is there. And yes, if you remember, I had shared that I'll be sharing one surprise. I'll be revealing one surprise at the end of this session. So the surprise is tomorrow on 24th of November. Okay, uh, we have a double bonanza. So when you go to an ice cream store, कई बारी vanilla ice cream के साथ strawberry ice cream भी मिलती है ना. So this is that kind of double bonanza. We have two industry HR sessions tomorrow. Okay, so we have two industry HR sessions tomorrow. One in the first half, which starts from 11:30 a.m. Okay, and the second, which starts from 3:30 p.m. in the second half. Right, so it's a double bonanza tomorrow. So I would request students not to miss any of these sessions, because the recruiters, they are investing so much of time and energy with just one simple motive, that you get a job. Right, and I think that is the motive of the entire ICAP team. So please don't miss these sessions. We have two sessions tomorrow, and the two sessions would be extremely interesting. Anas, the question is, what will be the next session? Kindly speak to your center staff. Okay, we have two sessions tomorrow. One is at 11:30 and the other is at 3:30 p.m. Okay, we have already shared the links with the centers, so you can take the links from them. Right. So thank you so much, Lokesh. Thank you so much, Jafar, for that elaborate presentation and sharing each and every detail with the students. Ripsita, again, where to send my resume? Students, you have to send your resume and showreel with your center staff, and it automatically reaches the ICAP team. Right. So thank you, Team Studio 361, and we will be compiling all the resume and showreel links, and we will be sharing with you in a day or so.
Sure, we'll be waiting.
Yes.
Mala.
Okay. And
Thanks, Mala.
thank you so much, Jafar.
Thank you guys for
Thank you
listening,
so much,
joining.
Lokesh.
Everyone, yeah.
Yes, and thank you all my students. Thank you all my center staff. Please don't miss tomorrow's both the sessions, one in the first half and one in the second half. So that's a double bonanza from ICAP team and MESC in the virtual job fair. So till then, take care, eat right, take rest, and work on your portfolio. And we hope that a lot of you get offers really soon. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.